So let me ask you guys this question that's been in my mind and I just always wanted to ask it. Do you guys think financial freedom is a myth in this current economy? With the current rise of costs being extremely high and the stagnation of wages, is financial freedom even possible? Well, I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours as well. In this video, we're going to discuss if financial freedom is possible in this economy. So first of all, we need to all discuss this. What is financial freedom? To so many people, it means so many things, but there is one thing that people get so confused when it comes to financial freedom. They automatically say becoming a millionaire. That is not what financial freedom is. Financial freedom is a certain number which allows you the freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. Financial freedom is not having the ability to buy a Lamborghini, multiple houses, and travel everywhere. No. It does give you the freedom to do that, but that's a very, very, very expensive lifestyle, which the average person does not want to live because you will become broke quickly. But financial freedom is just having an option. That's it. Simply having that option to either work or not continue to work. It doesn't mean you do not work. It just means you have that option to say, you know what, I want to try this new job, because you have the financial freedom and the flexibility to do that. The feeling of not having to be always stressed about a paycheck is financial freedom. And you also need to understand this as well. Financial freedom is not simply that you're rich. I've seen so many videos of people that they only live off $30,000 a year, and that's it, because they cut their expenses down so low and they live a very cheap, simple, frugal, minimalist life. No one at all would consider them rich, but let's be quite honest. In today's current times, if you tell someone, nah, I'm not working because I don't need to, they automatically think you're rich, but that's not what financial freedom is. So now that we know what financial freedom is, there's a bunch of challenges going on right now in their current economy that makes it so difficult for people to even feel like financial freedom is a possibility. Number one is the rising costs. Everything just seems extremely more expensive than it used to be. And that is certainly the case, especially for people who finally saved up all that money and are trying to buy a home. Woof, it's a really hard time to get a loan. The cost of homes right now are ridiculously high. It's not simply just buying a home nowadays. It's even just getting repairs and doing the simple things in your home that's extremely expensive. We're talking about homeowners insurance is ridiculously expensive. We're talking about the interest rates on the mortgage that's ridiculously expensive. Everything right now in a home is extremely expensive. And it's not only just homes, it's the price of groceries, the price of car insurance, the price of everything is going up. And as we know, employers are not giving raises. We're kind of stuck with the wages that we've been getting for a few years with little wrinkly-dinkly raises that's not enough, especially with the rise of inflation. And what makes everything extremely difficult in this economy as well is a lot of the things people had done to themselves, which has carried so much debt. You see, we all were sold this dream that going to college was the number one thing to do. Back in the days, you were able to work a part-time job and go to college and pay for your whole college experience. That's not the case anymore. Just working a part-time job, and in some cases not even a full-time job, you're able to just pay for college and go that route. So what's happening is, as you know, everyone is getting a huge amount of student loans. So now you have this burden of student loans just hanging all over you. Yes, you got that job, but now you need to pay these student loans back. And what happens is, well, a lot of people is as soon as they get this wonderful job, what they do is get into cars. You start getting yourself into car debt. Then you start getting yourself into credit card debt because now you want to spoil yourself. You have this job. Now you have your own place. You have all these things that's happening in your life and you've been delaying it for so long. You're saying, F it. And you are saying to yourself, a lot of people doing this, and it's unfortunate, they're saying right now my pay is not that high, but in a few years it will be, so I can rack up debt now because that's the future's problem and I can take care of it. The problem with that is, with lifestyle creep, you're always going to continue spending more. So the more money you make, a lot of people don't handle the debt. What they continue doing is spending because the lifestyle increases, and I don't blame people. To be honest with you, I don't blame people for doing that because times right now is really hard and you want to just enjoy life. You work so hard, you want to enjoy it. But when it comes to building financial freedom, that's where you need to really have some discipline. Another reason why people struggle during these times in the economy is There's quite a few layoffs going on right now, especially in the tech industry. You're seeing so many people getting laid off, whether it's the whole AI or it's simply just because the job that they're doing is extremely manual. And right now, as you know, in all the jobs that we have, they're trying to automate so many things as much as possible, which is pushing people out the door that's only doing a manual process. And people are also freaking out as well because of the job security. They feel like the job they have right now might not last. So they feel like financial freedom is never going to happen. So with all that being said, is financial freedom really a possibility? My answer is yes. You see, right now, things are really difficult in the economy. Yes, there's a lot of changes going on, and it's really difficult, and it's really hard to see yourself hitting financial freedom. But there is. You see, I'm a hustler, and with hustlers, you have to pivot. You have to pivot with these current times. What was working a few years ago is not gonna work now. And one of those things is just having just one job. You see, it does suck. I get it, it sucks. Who wants to work multiple jobs? It's unfortunate. You shouldn't need to. Why? It's not fair. These companies should be paying more. The problem is you continue been saying that for the past couple of years and nothing has changed. You can't just sit there and be idle and expecting a company to just all of a sudden just start giving some fair wages and just start giving out promotions. It's not like that. What you need to do during these times is be really strategic and plan to reach financial freedom. You could do that a multiple amount of ways. Number one, you can jump on that trend that everybody is doing, which is doing side gigs. Everyone is either doing a side hustle, whether they're creating their own business and doing it on the side, or you're doing a side gig. You can't just sit and be idle. You gotta participate in one of these things if you wanna hit financial freedom. As I said, it sucks, I get it, but this is temporary. And let's be extremely honest. You want to remove that paycheck to paycheck feeling. You do not want to live a life of always having to work paycheck to paycheck. And you don't want to live a life thinking, I'm going to have to work to the age of 70 in order to sustain this lifestyle. You need to put in all that hard work. You need to change your mindset and be extremely disciplined. And if you do all that, trust me, financial freedom is possible. Now, there's a few key steps that you need to do if you want to reach financial freedom, especially during these times. Number one is you need to master a budget. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you are currently. You need to assess the situation now and see what you could do in order to reach financial freedom. You see, once you have a budget in place, you will know what it would take for you to sustain the lifestyle you have. Especially if you start cutting back some expenses, then you know exactly what it would take for you to reach financial freedom and how much money you would need to reach financial freedom. So that's why a budget is extremely important. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna do a budget, it's not gonna work, it's gonna fail, then you're gonna try again. That is part of the process. You're never gonna get it right the first time. You're gonna miss something that you never expected. Something unexpected is gonna happen. Things are gonna happen, but you cannot bail on the budget. You certainly need to have it if you wanna reach financial freedom. The next step, and that's what I was discussing before, is you need to build multiple streams of income. You just need to have that thing building and building and building. Whether, people always think it's just simply just working. Like, I gotta pick up a second job. But it's not just that. People forget that an income stream is not only from working, it's also from investing. So if you're putting money into your 401k account, into your brokerage account, you're buying an index fund, that is also a form of an income stream that you can get. A lot of people invest in, I believe it's SCHD, which is a stock that pays dividends. Yes, the dividends might not be a lot, but the more you invest in that stock, you will make a lot of money on interest. But you definitely need to boost your income. You can't sit idle and do nothing. And the third step is this, and this, to be honest with you, should be something you need to address a lot earlier and aggressive, which is your debt. If you have any debt, credit card debt, student loan debt, you need to attack that aggressively. You don't want to keep that thing lingering and saying to yourself, you know what, I want to just reach financial freedom by just saving all this money, but the problem is you have all that debt and it's eating all your money. You're paying so much money in interest to make all these other banks rich when you should be focusing on making yourself rich. So yes, before you get all excited and you start investing, working, and just doing all these exciting things in your life, you need to sit down, look at your current debt situation, and you need to attack that aggressively. Get it out of your life as quick as possible. Now, when it comes to paying off debt, everyone always talks about the debt snowball, the avalanche. I say just pay it off. Whatever it takes, just pay it off. All those strategies work. Depends upon, how you feel about it. Debt snowball. If you want small wins to keep you going, go ahead. The avalanche is an option you can choose as well. If you're big into math and you want to pay the stuff that has the highest interest rate, go ahead. But to me personally, my approach to this is just pay off the debt you hate the most that's been lingering. Whatever mistakes you made in the past and you're continually paying it for it in the future, get rid of it. Because I personally hate having to pay for stuff that I know was a mistake in the past, and it feels good to finally get rid of it. Step 4 is to invest wisely. You still should be doing this even when you're paying off your debt, especially if you have a job that gives you a 401k match. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't do that. You should focus aggressively on your debt. And I do agree with that, but man, it is really hard to just not get that match from the company. Take that 401k match. Take it. It's really important because even if you're struggling with paying off debt, at least you know in the back of your mind you are still building some wealth on the side. Okay, so you will not feel so horrible like you're wasting so much time into paying off your debt and you're missing out on all these opportunities. You're not, because you're still investing on the side. I would say don't invest more than that. Don't invest more than a company match. And if your job doesn't offer a company match, then put a few $100 on the side and open up a Roth IRA. But you do not want to neglect investing. Just put some money in there and build it. Now, once you're done paying off all your debt, then you will become more aggressive in investing in your retirement, in your investment accounts, all that. The next step is to build an emergency fund. You certainly need to build an emergency fund. If you never had that cushion on the side to handle all these little emergencies that pop up is going to trip you up. You're going to slide right back down and continually being in debt and not hitting financial freedom. An emergency fund, guys, is going to give you that cushion. It's going to give you that cushion and that time to handle your business and continually investing and paying off debt. You don't want to keep on living on an emergency fund. Emergencies are going to happen. It's bound to happen. And you need to have an emergency fund. I recommend a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. But, okay, it doesn't mean that you just build your emergency fund 3-6 months and don't, go aggressive with your debt and don't invest. No, try to do both at the same time. What I highly recommend is once you get the company match, okay, you start putting some money on the side, okay, for your 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and then you attack your debt aggressively. But if you're working multiple jobs and you're just increasing your income tremendously, this process should be a lot quicker and a lot smoother than expected. And now, in this current economy, things are changing tremendously. As we know, AI is a huge talking point. You want to at least get familiar with yourself with AI. At least familiarize yourself with just understanding how to do automation in general. A lot of jobs out there, man, they're using Excel and a lot of work is being done manually. At least know how to do macros, use formulas, VLOOKUP, certain things like that, and stay on top of the trends, because this will allow you, at least in your current role, to number one, have job stability, because if you're learning all these trades and all these tricks that other people are not doing, that gives you a whole lot more job stability. And then also it could give you so many raises as well. The possibility of raises will be there if you're sticking with the new trends and you're learning and you're growing. Trust me, in my current role, I use a lot of my IT experience to use macros and VLOOKUPs. It makes my job tremendously easy. I automated so many things in my job, and that gives me a lot of recognition, job stability, and raises as well. Now, the common pitfalls why people don't reach financial freedom is this: they just do not invest. You need to invest in order for you to reach financial freedom. You cannot do that by just simply working a 9-to-5 job and not investing. You can't work your way into financial freedom. Now, you can work your way into financial freedom if the money you're making in excess, you're putting it into investing. Now, that will work, but you just can't simply just work a 9-to-5 and expect to hit financial freedom by putting a few dollars into the side in order to save and a few dollars to invest. You need to be aggressive on both sides of this. And another common pitfall as well is lifestyle inflation. What is it that you want to do? You want to reach financial freedom, you got to be really careful with lifestyle inflation. Because the more you start increasing your lifestyle, the more money you need for financial freedom and the harder it's going to be to reach it. You want to try to keep your lifestyle as stable as possible. That way, you know the number you're aiming for financial freedom will not change. So as you see, it's really hard to hit financial freedom during these current times in the economy, but it's definitely possible. You just gotta get away from TikTok and social media where people are acting like everything is miserable and is never going to happen. Oh no, it is going to happen. There is also a lot of success stories out there currently where people are reaching financial freedom and they're doing it at a very young age. We're talking about at the age of like the mid 30s or even younger than that, and some in their 20s that are hitting financial freedom. So it's possible. Does it mean that they're retiring and they're going out traveling and doing crazy things? No, it just means that now they're not so reliant on a 9 to 5 and they have options, which is, let's be quite honest, that's something we all want. We all want the option to either work or not work, to be able to travel, do whatever it is that you want to do in life rather than being just stuck and confined in a 9 to 5. So thank you guys for sticking around to the end of this video. If you have any comments, please drop it down below. I would love to hear it. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.